Whoa, you got to start over. That was fucked.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Black Sheep Narrative, and we're back.
Hi guys.
God damn! Is that what? Bring the excitement. Bring the.
I'm pumped up,
dude. You stopped singing.
Are you drinking
for the intros?
No, I took. It's a nootropic. I just fucking take
Brain
whatever's
pre.
on the John's shelf of shit that he got. So.
Shit that just gets sent to me.
Yeah,
from
it's
all
awesome,
over.
dude. I take a little. Just try one every single day.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, you want to take some samples home with you? We got.
Yeah,
It's like I need to get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
But as you can see, we've got a guest here today. Please welcome Zach Peterson from Tattooed and Successful.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
We're excited to have
Appreciate
you
it.
on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited. We just started ours back up, so to get on somebody else's again is fun to do.
Yeah, because you're normally on the other side of the seat.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, and then I already talked to you. I'd like to have you on ours in a little bit too, so that way we can space the
shucks.
episodes a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it'd be cool for you to be on ours as well and kind of talk about your journey as well.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
So tell the people about Tattooed and Successful. What is Tattooed and Successful all about?
Yeah, so we're we get identified as just a clothing brand, but we're more of like a community created to give people a sense of identity that happens to sell T-shirts. Really, the goal originally, obviously, you got to sell shirts to make money. You have to have some revenue stream to generate profits so you can exist, and that was the initial avenue. But it's really grown into more of a community brand that gives a certain demographic a sense of identity.
What's that demographic?
Obviously the tattooed community, but also just the inspired community, I would call it. Not motivated or whatever that, because I don't like the word motivation. Just because I think it's temporary, right? Like discipline and like rules within your life create success, not necessarily just being motivated all the time, because that doesn't last.
Yeah, it's fleeting.
Yeah, not all of us are Goggins, is the terminology I use. And it's like, I think that's something that social media has kind of taken over with is really pushing people into thinking that they can just go all the time.
Dude, it frustrates me so much. Everything is like motivating. Everyone puts like a little motivating thing on their videos now. It's like,
and half of it's bullshit.
It's
Half of it's
cheesy,
they're spouting off shit that they heard someone else say in a book or.
Yeah, and it's like, the big one to me is like you wake up 3 hours before everybody, and it's like, why? No one else is fucking up. Like there's like, I get if you want to get up early to get some things done because you need to, like there's a certain hour that I like to get up, but telling everybody that they just need to get up early because that's what successful people do is just stupid. Like you either learn that or you figure it out, or you figure out what your clock is or when your optimal time to work is.
Yeah.
I know some more of the creative type of people really like to work the afternoons into the evenings. It's just when their brain works, they like to work out in the mornings and do their personal stuff in the mornings. Tattoo artists, for instance, love that style. Yeah. For one reason, nobody wants to get tattooed in the morning, but for two, they're just not quite in that type of vibe yet to create art, right? You never go to an art gallery in the morning.
Yep.
Right? Or you never go into anything with artistry involved in the morning. You don't go to a fashion show at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all these people are performing at their prime in the afternoons and the evenings.
Yeah, I know.
So what's the like sense in like pushing this 5 a.m., 300 push-ups, 300 pull-ups before you get out the door thingy?
Yeah. Carry the boats, bitches. Carry the boats. Let's go.
It's like and he always relates it back to like when we were in the Marines and stuff. And it's like, that's awesome that you served for your country. You did. Like, that's awesome. I don't know if you did. But that's amazing that you did. But that doesn't mean that you need to take those applications that were insane for the elite and apply them to everyday life.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone like vibes with that either.
No.
Like, you can't put yourself in his shoes because
You're
there
not
is
him.
no other David Goggins.
Right. And I
dude.
think that sometimes that kind of is just, that narrative is starting to get pushed and further where like, that's what you are. And if you're not that, then you're just not making it. So yeah, for our community, I like to call it the inspired community, not the motivated community.
Inspired.
Yeah, because we have now quite a few people or quite a big group of people that buy our products simply for just the slogans or the sayings or the identity with a group that they like to hang out with, right? So it's not just the tattooed community. Yeah.
Take me back to the beginning. Like, how did you even come up with Tattooed and Successful? What was your vision or?
Yeah, so originally it was Jay Taylor and I. Jay owned Jack City Fitness over by Bishop Kelly in Boise, Idaho. Him and I were starting to get tattooed. And at that point, we both had like half of a half sleeve, just the outer part probably. And our parents had just really come down on us quite a bit. His from more of a religious standpoint, my family a little bit more from a business standpoint. And we were just bullshitting, working out together, and eventually got to the point where we're like, hey, we should make some shirts. And then the Tattooed and Successful like was just like yeah, we can be that, and it was like a joke type of thing. And then we were like, no, we should make that like the name of it, and then try to sell some shirts with it, see what happens. So we literally, no shit, it was drawn on like a pink sticky note. And like that's where the whole brand was drawn out, was on a bunch of pink sticky notes in Jay's office.
No shit.
Yeah, great beginnings.
Yeah, now you own your own facility.
Yeah.
You have a gym. We'll get into that too.
Yeah. So
it's opened up a lot of avenues for you.
Yeah, definitely. We really we went to the first Treasure Valley Tattoo Convention down at the Grove Hotel, or like in the arena area when, what was it called then? CenturyLink? Yeah. Went there, did that show, kind of sold out of them, and then both of our lives went in like drastically different directions.
So when you sold out, how many units did you have?
Fuck.
Not many, right?
Probably like 200-300 tees. Yeah, we did
sold out one show.
Yeah, we did.
Boom.
We did about 2,500 a day at that show in sales.
Oh yeah,
which was really good for
for not having a name.
Yeah, like we didn't even have a tablecloth or signage, or we took one little banner and we tied it to, like, you guys have been to the Steelheads game, like the upper deck, we tied it to that and our table was below it, so that when you were down in the pit where everybody's getting tattoos, they could see it. Yeah. And we just had one 6-foot table and we had the shirts laid on it. We didn't have any way to fold them, stack them, anything.
Look nice, yeah.
Yeah. And we had to take everything in every day and take everything out. So we just had suitcases that we would load all the stuff into.
Shirts are all wrinkled and shit.
Yep. But
hey,
yeah,
it's humble beginnings.
We sold out of like 4 of our 6 designs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
It's humble beginnings, like looking back at our start too. Like now, it's funny, like when you do start and after you've been doing it for a while and you kind of look back at like your original designs or whatever the case may be, and you're like, oh my God.
So bad.
Yeah, you're like, it's horrid.
Yeah.
My wife pulled out a bottle of UXO supplements that she found. It was one of our original designs that had this like gray camouflage on it.
Yeah.
It was like from years. She was like, look at what I found. I was like, oh my God, like it's hideous.
Yeah.
And then I opened it up. There was still powder in there. It's probably expired 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's sour, but
yeah.
I still
Hard as a rock.
I still took it.
Did you? How was it?
Of course you did.
I would have taken it.
You can't let that stuff go to waste.
All the experiments. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, Jade and I went in very separate directions though. He moved across the country to South Carolina. Oh, wow. And I got a divorce and moved to Salt Lake. So the brand went on the back burner until about COVID. Right before COVID.
Is that your family in Salt Lake or?
No, I just moved there.
You just moved there, just up in.
Yeah, I was training to. So I played in this like local football league around here. Mm-hmm. I'd never played football, and did really well in that league. And a few guys that played at Boise State were like, "Hey, you need to go try to do this before like you're too old or get hurt or something." And so I moved to Utah. And started training with a trainer and flying around the U.S. to work out for NFL teams and CFL teams. And then I ended up playing in the spring league in Texas, the league that Manziel played in, and that they do like I think we had 4 games that year. Now they do like a 6-game season. Everybody's based, like you stay in hotels, go practice at the same field. All 4 teams practice at the same field. And then after like 2 weeks, you guys play games.
Was it a paycheck?
No, you ain't get paid to be there.
Damn.
Yeah. So I went there to do that, got hurt. And I had a contract on the table when I went there. I just went there because I was egotistical and thought I could get a bigger contract, and ended up getting hurt, and then never made it up to Canada. Yeah.
You're going to play in the CFL?
Mm-hmm. For the Alouettes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So they liked me. I was a big white dude that didn't care about the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What position did you play?
I would have played wide receiver, but up there I would have played H-back.
Okay.
So I'd go work out for teams at wide receiver and tight end. And then up there, they don't really use a tight end. They use like a forward motion H-back. Mm-hmm. So if you've watched those games, it's like I would line up next to the quarterback, take like 3 strides out to the right, and then start on a running head start, and then run a route on the outside backer. So it's a tight end with a running head start.
It's a big motherfucker coming.
Yes. Yeah. Nightmare. So it was fun because I was more built like a wide receiver, but I just wasn't tall enough to be an NFL. Every time I'd work out for an NFL team, they'd be like, "Are you 6'4"? I was like, no. I'm like, nah. Because that's like their benchmark for tight ends.
What was your 40 time?
I ran as low as 4.49, but usually in the 4.5s.
That's good.
Yeah, but I was 235, 6'3", 235, 40 inch vert.
Yeah.
Running a 4.5, so
yeah.
And I could catch.
Yeah.
Ran good routes. I just had good hands from playing basketball. So I played college basketball.
Where'd you play at?
Everywhere. CSI in Twin Falls, North Idaho in Coeur d'Alene, and then finished at College of Idaho.
Was it a pretty big bummer for you when, like, did you feel like you have a direction, right? You did tattooing successful, you started that, and then you go down and you're like, okay, I'm going to play. I want to get to the league. And then it's like, fuck, I got hurt. What now?
Yeah, I think all guys through the age, like, or whenever if you went to college, it's 22. It's whenever you get done with college. If you didn't go to college, it's right away. We all struggle with trying to figure out who we are after college. I think girls and guys, but guys we're expected to know what our identity is. Girls can attach their identity to guys, right? Okay. But guys can't. Like, we can't. You don't see a whole lot of guys that, like, find a girl and they're just like, she's doing all this and, like, I'm gonna help her do that, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas you see that mostly that's just predominantly how society works. Is that typically the guy has the more prominent job, and the women could be just as successful, but it's not usually in, like, the same prominent type industry or way. Mm-hmm. This is just general rules. I'm not saying that girls can't accomplish anything. Not at all.
I already know. I already
Warning.
see the comments.
Can we get, like, a ding with this? This message was not described in a way. No. So I think women are amazing, can accomplish just as much as men, but this, like, for general speaking, that's typically the relationship style. So I think for the most part, guys are expected to just have this identity figured out. Like, you don't want to be a social worker, have 3 kids, and live in Meridian. Like, you don't know exactly what you want to do at 23. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So I just had a massive identity crisis. Yeah. Didn't know what I wanted to do. So I did a lot of jobs out of college. I worked at a lot of places. I was a terrible employee. And then when the opportunity arose for football, it was, an ex-college athlete that now I had athletics to tie myself to give me that identity again. And so I think I just took that as the first opportunity. And in order to be successful in athletics, you have to put everything in. And so otherwise you just don't get anything out of it. So I just went all in on that. So yeah, when I got hurt, it was shitty, but the reason I went and tried to go do this was to see if I could play. And I always told myself, like, I just want to know if I can. Like, I never played football. If I could go play professional football, that's pretty cool to know if I could. And trying to keep that mindset versus the mindset that, like, I am a professional football player. That's what I'm going to be. I had more the mindset of, I just want a chance. Like, just give me a chance to see if I can do it. And I found out I could do it, but my body just couldn't do it. So the injury I had was I tore my hip flexor, my groin, and my core, and severely damaged my femoral nerve.
What was it from? Like a hit? Or
nope, just running her out.
Just taking off.
Yep. So I ran a corner route. When I came back to the outside and looked over my shoulder, that hard step I took, basically what he said, it happens all the time to receivers, is they just overextend on that one stride and the hip goes, and then the pressure has to go somewhere. So it goes to your groin, then it has to go somewhere. So it goes up your core.
But you're back to playing here.
Yeah, right? I play now. Okay. Yeah.
But you just don't go as hard, or?
It took 3 years probably to be able to sprint. Yeah. Like, actually sprint. There's a difference between, like, I could run really fast, and then you'll see it a lot in football games. You'll see the receiver sprinting, and then the ball's in the air, and they're like, and that little, like, that acceleration. Yeah. I could never do that again. I still can't. Yeah, I don't try anymore, though. Yeah. See, I don't have that, like, that drop down. Nope. I'm fast, but I don't have that. I don't even try to go to it anymore, because I'm like, I know exactly what that feels like to rip off. I'm good. Yeah. So, yeah, the day after I tore it, flew to Salt Lake. From there, flew to San Jose the next day, had it fixed, spent a few days there, flew back to Salt Lake. And
how long was rehab?
Which time? That was the problem, is I did the initial rehab, started ramping up training, was running a dig route, it popped.
Again.
Bruising all the way down to my knee, whole quad's massive. Go get an MRI. It looks good, didn't tear, just strained it again. So rehab, do it again, strain it again. So I did that probably 4 or 5 times before I was like, I'm good. Yeah, this ain't coming back. Yeah. So I tore my groin off my pubic bone about like 80%. Instead of reattaching it, they move it. They cut it off the rest of the way and they move it up in your hip flexor.
What?
So anatomical real quick. Girls have like a wider, like pubic bone, wider hip, right?
Okay.
For childbirth, we have a really narrow hip. So we have a very sharp groin insertion into our hip from our quad in, whereas girls don't have that. So you never hear of a girl strain. Girls can do the splits like naturally, right? No, it's more because their anatomy than they're just more flexible than us. Their hip rotates in their socket much more efficiently than we can. If you look at how low a speed skater skates for a girl versus a guy, significantly lower, because just the way their hips are in their socket. So instead of reattaching it and giving it that super sharp angle back into my hip, they move it. So now it's more like this in my hip versus this. So one groin's like this and one's like that. Yeah. He's the surgeon. He's the one of 2 doctors that does it, but all football players that tear their groin, go get it moved. There's one guy in Pennsylvania and one guy in San Jose.
Damn.
Yeah. His wall was, he did Reggie Bush's.
Damn.
Yeah. He was USC's team doc.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So USC from LA would send people to San Jose to get it done.
That guy's just making loot.
Yeah. And he was cool as fuck. Super cool. But
cool.
his website is sportshernia.com. Like he's been doing it that long that like I was like, you got that URL? Like you did well.
Yeah, you did.
You're doing well if you snatch that one. So yeah, that was the end of the like next level type of athleticism career.
And then so after that, you just jumped into
yeah, when I was down in Salt Lake, I did DoorDash and Uber Eats.
Oh no shit.
Yep. I would help clean my buddy's fitness studio. Anything I could do. And then when I was home on the weekends to see my son, I would do like handyman work. So pressure wash stuff, all sorts of stuff from my parents.
It's whatever you could get.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so when did you transition into, because you worked
and then I did landscaping
for Muscle Farm.
Yeah.
And
so I worked for Muscle Farm right out of college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So right out of college, I did
the football.
Yeah. Right out of college. So graduated 2014 at C of I.
Yeah.
Back then there just wasn't as many jobs as there is now, or opportunities or avenues. Like when people come out of college now, it's like they can make their own job, make their own industry for that matter. Like hop on an app and start making money so easily. There wasn't apps to begin with back then. Mm-hmm. So I did door to door because that was a pretty natural athlete thing. A lot of us went and did that. Mm-hmm. Did that for 6 or 8 months and then got a job at Muscle Farm at the headquarters in Denver, Colorado. So moved there, worked there for a year and a half and then moved back to.
It was a good time though, working for them, right? You liked it?
Yeah, it was interesting. I just say that no offense to you being in that industry. I would say that industry to a whole is just, it's interesting. It's just, there's a lot of play going on. It's just a lot of relationship dynamics and it's a lot of money being thrown around and it's hard. It's a lot of sponsorship deals. It's 100%. No different than like athletes in general, just the athletic industry, like professional sports. Like it's eerily similar. It's instead of it being, beer companies and that trying to sponsor people, it's fitness people being sponsored by the supplement companies. But you still have the same dynamics. You still have the Monday morning meeting about like this athlete did this over the weekend, this athlete did this over the weekend. So it's managing all those relationships and stuff and just the finances of all of it and all that kind of crap is just, it's interesting. It was an interesting thing to be a part of.
Can we talk about the shows they did?
The what?
The shows they did.
It was interesting. Yeah, I did.
I don't know if you wanted, because you told me the story. I was like,
I did LA. I did LA Fit with them and the Arnold with them.
Yeah.
And they're interesting. We had a double-decker suite with kind of like a walk-through thing that you could shop. It was sick. Yeah. The Muscle Farm on the upper part like looked like it was floating and shit. It was pretty cool. But there was a like, you guys all been to a club or gotten table service or gotten
like VIP.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had like up the stairs and there was like couches all around it with like a big center table, and it was just bit of a free for all up there for activities and things that went on, and it was loud at the
right in the middle of
a convention going on. Yeah.
Oh, got a big bowl of just cocaine.
Yeah, just a big bowl party up there. So it was interesting. Yeah, it was an interesting company to work for. There was we joke about it now. Those of us that still talk that worked there, but we used to go to like happy hour at like 2 on like a Wednesday, and then some people wouldn't make it in on Thursday, and Friday was kind of a loose day, and it was just like, I don't know how we got any fucking thing done there. Right? Like, to be honest, we'd go like hit our sales goal and go get trashed at Texas Day Brazil and be gone for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the fuck? Or we'd get back and be like fucked up and full and go play like horse for 2 hours and then leave. And it was just like, It was
culture, baby.
It was a culture.
The bosses, what the bosses say, they didn't give a fuck, right?
They
like
weren't
if you're hitting
there
your numbers,
usually. They weren't there usually. Yeah, it's just an interesting dynamic. It was,
but I think that's ultimately you look at where they're at. Like they just were sold an auction, right? Like
yeah,
they went from the ~1 sports nutrition company.
I was there on that day. I was there on the D-Day that we went. No, not the sold at auction. I was there on the day we went from like $14 to $2 on the stock exchange. That was awkward. It was real quiet that day.
Oh man!
And that's when that literal day was the end of playing horse, putting on the putting green, doing any working out during work hours. It was the end of it that day. That was no more.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a weird time to be there. They cut everything, but I remember at one point we had like 3 motorhomes in the parking lot. Every outside sales rep had a Dodge Charger that was wrapped with Muscle Farm.
Oh wow.
It was just
money
like,
being spent.
yeah, and I was like,
ridiculous.
what the hell are we having? Like, why does an outside sales rep need a Charger?
But, and me and you kind of also discussed
and just a risk on that.
Yeah.
Back in the day too, it's like they also went out and sponsored
the
biggest names, but it's like they had worst luck with who they chose. They had Tiger Woods.
They picked the biggest names in the worst timing of their careers.
Yes. It was like a perfect storm for them.
Yeah.
They had Tiger Woods when he went through
broken.
Yeah. And then they picked up Colin Kaepernick.
Right before he kneeled.
Yep. And then, dude, it's like they had all. I think they had Manziel too. Didn't they?
I have a bunch of Muscle Farm signed stuff from Manziel.
They had.
I got a football, a jersey. Then we had CJ. We had CJ 2K after he got released from the Titans.
Yep.
We had Rampage Jackson after he left the UFC.
Dude.
Oh, fuck.
But back in the heyday, they had like
dudes.
every
We had
UFC,
McGregor, Ray Lewis. Yeah.
Muscle Farm, the MP was on the butts of every UFC fighter that stepped in the stage.
They were the shit.
Stepped in the
and to be honest,
cage.
like working there and like being in this industry for that long, like we had good products.
Yeah.
We really did it in a certain
back in
point.
the beginning.
Yeah, we had good products, and then we had really good innovators within it. And after it went through so many hands, by the time of what went to market, sucked.
Yeah.
Because I was just a low level sales rep, so I was friends with all the dudes that like put in the work to make the formulas and all that type of stuff, and I was a test dummy for half the shit.
Yeah.
And we would get this product, and I was like, "This is gonna be so sick." And then we'd get like the product back from the board of directors on like what they approved, and I was like, "This sucks.
Not even
this
close.
sucks."
Yeah.
All they'd always do in pre is pull out any of the additives we had and go back to this, or for protein, they'd pull out any of the additives we had put in that would like help with absorption or help with muscle recovery or whatever it was. They'd pull them out. They'd put in they'd leave a couple of the ones that they viewed as essential, but dose them down and then up the protein just to kind of counteract it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of amino spiking. I know Muscle Farm got hit with.
We got caught with it. It was on the Arnold line.
Yeah, it was the Arnold line. Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't with
spiking it with taurine, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't the main combat powder, and that's what took. Like here's the stupid part: our Arnold shit didn't sell at all, and so for us to spike that was stupid because it killed our protein sales for combat, which was our #1 seller for our company. Yeah. So it ruined the reputation of our brand from a protein perspective, killing our #1 seller for our worst selling product on our worst margin product. It not only was our worst selling thing, but it was our worst margin.
But you guys didn't make any money on it because you had to pay Arnold.
That's what I'm saying. Like we had no margin on it because the royalties to Arnold outweighed our profit. So I wasn't allowed to sell it wholesale to stores because we wouldn't make any money. We were only selling it via the website. So our sales were obviously shit because we were in no like mom and pop stores, no GNs, like nothing.
Yeah.
They just thought putting Arnold on it would just drive revenue.
Yeah, but Arnold didn't give a shit to push it. He just thought he just wanted like his name on something,
and he wanted the paycheck.
And so we paid him like a massive upfront, which I have no idea what that was. And then we paid him such a big royalty on everything that we weren't allowed to sell it at wholesale.
Yeah,
I was like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah,
but then the amino thing got caught because Jim Stepani hated us.
Yeah,
and he went to the links of the world to try to find things wrong with Muscle Farm.
So he was testing formulas and shit.
Yeah, he was constantly testing our products. He was constantly messaging our ambassadors. He would message my like demo reps, like just these fitness influencers that this is back before Instagram was hardly anything. Yeah. But he would message these guys and like, why are you repping their brand? And like send them the like screenshots of stuff that he found to be true that half the time didn't end up being true. It was just him down a rabbit hole. But he made it his like personal vendetta, and eventually he found something that stuck.
Yeah,
Because he's the one that found that.
That dude, I used to love everything he put out, and now he's gone down. He refuses, and he's like can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, 100%.
He's still stuck on old studies. Me and him got into it on TikTok because I called out his formula for someone wanted me to review it. I reviewed it. I gave open, honest feedback.
Yeah.
And some dude tagged me in the comments, tagged Jim in my comments.
And he popped
Jim,
on there, lost his shit.
He showed up, and was like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Of course you don't.
BCAs, or here's why you need them. And I was like, Jim, like, that's old studies, dude.
Yeah.
Like, all the new studies show BCAs are pointless. You need essential amino acids. And he's like, those studies are wrong, and I've got my PhD. It's like,
that's the one I hate always, is that
know?
He's like, I'm a doctor.
Keep hanging your head on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of doctors that got fired for malpractice too, homie. So like, that doesn't, just because you got the certificate doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, just because you're a cop doesn't mean you're a good person. Just because you're a father doesn't mean you're a good dad. Just because you got the cert doesn't mean that you're, I know plenty of trainers with tons of certs that suck, and plenty of trainers with like one that are amazing.
Yeah, and it really sucks because he's one of the figures that really got me into the industry, because I loved everything he preached.
I liked him
in the beginning.
I liked him before I went to Muscle Farm, like 2012 through like 14, when he was on bodybuilding.com site helping them with their content and I did his program several times. Yeah. His lifting program several times. I loved his content too. Yeah. And then his content I haven't looked at it for years, but through like a period of time, all it was attacks on other people and like integrity things, all that stuff. And I get you wanting to be like the good guy and show stuff, but there's like, you can review a product and just give your opinion. Yeah. Or you can go on a rant about them as people and what they're doing, and you need to go after them, and you need to And he would like send his little Stepanis after us.
The gym army.
Yeah.
The gym army.
Dude, and he would send them after us, and like, it was just such a weird call to action, right? And it's such a negative, I hate that negative mindset. Like, I want to be a part of like, that's the point of the brand, right? Is to create this culture that encourages people to pursue their better self.
And unfortunately, there's people out there though, that they feel like by extinguishing someone else's flame, their flame is going to burn brighter.
It never works that way.
No.
That's why I think I said this to you when we sat down and talked, is I always like the saying where like, when the water rises, the boat rises. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's my favorite one. Like, I think it's super, like most people like, and I don't know about this, but I don't think a lot of people would think that like you and I could be on this podcast, or that you could be on mine, from the standpoint of like, we're brands in the same city and stuff like that. But I think you have a similar mindset to me, where it's like, if I learn something from you, you learn something from me, we have a conversation. Like, there's plenty of the world to go around for us all to be successful. And if you can't learn something from somebody that's near you, like, you're just like putting yourself in this really, really small box.
Yeah. See, like me and some of the guys from Caged met on Tuesday.
Okay.
And people are like, what? Like, you guys are meeting? And it's like, we're collabing, we're seeing where we can provide value to one another. Yeah. I respect what they do. They respect what we do. And,
Caged?
Yeah. Caged Muscle and, Caged now, but, and even same thing. Chris, he's no longer associated with them. Yeah. He comes in here and we were able to rap over a podcast. And it's like, that's how I am. As long as you align yourself with people who are like-minded, like you said, like me and you, we probably vibe because we have the same vision, same goals. And, but there's people in the industry that,
you don't.
There's a lot of people in the industry.
That's the thing. And that's why I didn't like that industry, because it was just like this. I got to the point where it was just so toxic.
Yeah.
And I would go to these shows and like,
that's why it's important to find the people that aren't. And then, you align yourself with them. And
I went to a show with a different company and went and said hi to a buddy that owned a separate one. Mm-hmm. And my life was made hell when we got back from that show.
Just from saying hi.
Just from saying what up. And I was like, but he's just a homie. Like, okay. That's weird. I'm going to go to dinner with him too later, but all right.
Yeah, that's fucked.
I haven't seen him in like 2 years. My bad. So it's just interesting how that kind of goes with certain people. They like the elevation of others is so threatening to people that aren't on their own rise, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So how does Tattooing Successful go from, you starting and just slinging T-shirts, selling out, then you going to try to be in the NFL or the CFL, and then you just doing odds and ends jobs, and then just being like, you know what, I'm going to fucking go all in on this.
Yeah, so I was doing landscaping with a really good buddy of mine, and I just kind of got to the point, we moved from landscaping into lights, Christmas lights, and I didn't like crawling around on the roof, and so I did some odd and end stuff, and then I kind of just the brand was starting to grow a little bit, and I just felt like something with that much potential, I needed to focus my energy on it, and so I kind of went all in on that. But I started the process of doing that during landscaping. So I would send like 300 to 500 messages a day on Instagram and Facebook just to people that would like it, that I would think would like it, that I would find on the old style popular page back when that looked a lot different. And just send I told Jon this, I would send a message that just said, hey, come check out my brand. It might be something you like. Not try to sell them something, not give them a discount code, not send them a message that would get flagged for like spam because it was the exact same text strokes. So I would just send like these and change the title on it to their name or their ad or whatever it was. And then I would engage with them just slightly, you know, like something on their page, comment on something, just real organic shit. And I tried to learn a lot about all these people, which seems kind of weird to learn a lot about 300 people every day. But if you look at their page and you just take a gander, it only takes like 15 seconds if you got good service. So click on a couple posts, read the caption, like it. Really cool. Loved your sleeve, or this is cool, or like love your attitude, whatever the fuck it is. Just something that's like meaningful versus, hey, come check out my shirt, that type of stuff. And so I just created like a really quick community by messaging all these people quickly. And that's what really grew our following, which obviously then grows your sales and grows your community and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then COVID kind of launched me into it in another way because I couldn't go do any odds and ends jobs or anything like that. So that's when I really grew it. And I had barbecues at my house all the time with all the models that were modeling for me at the time, and kind of grew the like family in a way with that. And then when we came out of COVID, we were locked and loaded.
Yeah.
It seems like you've built a great community. It seems like everyone's involved, especially when I go to your page and like see all of your ambassadors or athletes or the people that are underneath the brand, right?
Yeah.
Everyone, it seems like, is always sharing out your stuff, always pushing it really hard.
Yeah.
And you talk about Muscle Farm and how a headache it was to talk to athletes, and you had the Monday morning quarterback. Like, what did they do over the weekend? How did you keep them so engaged? How do you keep them so motivated to push this?
I think because we have like a genuine relationship that we build with them. Most of the relationships with these people that vouch for us or that post us on a consistent basis from a team standpoint, not the people that are just regular customers, but the team standpoint, all come from like a genuine, we want to help them in some way with their life. And in return, we hope that you exchange that with us and help our brand. Yeah. So the other thing we do is we give all the people that shoot with us a ton of content after. So typically, like I've worked with brands before I had my own and stuff like that, shot with them. And it was like, I got like one shirt when I left, never saw the photos. And I think there's different scales to that, what you want to give people, when you want to give it to people based on when you're launching something. If you're shooting people before a launch, obviously you want to wait, but we make sure to get a lot of content back to them. And
how do you get back to them? Share drives? Or?
Yep, just share drives. Yep. So we have drives created for our models, and then we share. Then their drive just updates with their pictures.
So they get all of it's free content for them to repopulate, reshare.
Yeah. Yeah. So we
That's
try to.
That's so simple, and we've never fucking done that.
Ding. This is why we have these conversations. Now this is why we have these conversations.
Yeah. So yeah, we just give a lot of content back to them because they need things to promote themselves, right? To whether it's for just so they look pretty on Instagram, or whether it's because they're trying to create their own brand. And if we can help them with that, and then in turn, a lot of them end up using our videographer, photographers for their own personal stuff as well. And then it just grows that community. And that's the point. Like I said, the point of the brand is to help people pursue the better version of themselves. And in turn, we got to sell a little bit of shirts to do so. And so we create the community, create the collaborative relationships, and that sells shirts in a backwards way.
Yeah. And by selling shirts now, you have a nice ass facility.
Yeah.
You have a storefront.
Yeah.
You can get tattooed now in your facility. I'll fall back on the gym aspect of things. What are the challenges now? You've grown. I'm sure it's very different than what it was now. Now you have employees, people that are like looking up to you because their livelihood is in your hands. Yeah. You know? How is it now that you're just controlling? You're basically like you're the leader of this. Yeah. You know,
it's weird, especially with the gym being next door. So I have a group of employees over there that's vastly different than the group of employees over at TNS, and not different in a bad way. Just what they do is very different. You know, we have under the gym, we got a bunch of trainers that are focused primarily on client relations and bettering people from a physical standpoint and trying to help them with their mental along the way and seeing what they can do to better their life. And then on the other side, you have a lot more of the marketing side of people that are trying to market to people, not actually with the hands-on relationship. So you got all hands-on relationships in one building and no hands-on relationships in the other. In a way, it's mostly virtual and via clothes and photo shoots and that type of stuff. So it's really just managing the people. I try to empower the employees as much as possible, to make sure that they know that regardless of what they go choose to do, that we'll support them in that future thing. We just hope to be a part of their journey of the success of their life. And I think trying to instill that in people and trying to show them that we just want to be a part of the journey, not necessarily the end result. Yeah. And so I think you get a lot more empowerment through people that way, and get a lot more effort from people that way, and a lot more dedication to their craft when they feel that backing, that the betterment of them is the main goal, not the company. But that's why I think I post it probably once every 2 days. But my favorite thing is like we over me, and just posting that kind of constantly. It's to remind everybody in the building, it's to remind the people around us that like the end goal is like the betterment of yourself, but you do that through we and through creating those relationships and helping others around you. And it comes full circle. Obviously you got to get your own shit done. Not saying ignore yourself and become a servant of others, but you got to, if you help the people around you, it genuinely helps like your successes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think sometimes we get so in that lane of just like trying to get like the motivation shit. We're just all looking at ourselves all the time, trying to get better. I need to do this. I need to do this. How do I do this? Mm-hmm. And it's like, how do I help this group get better? And then that group's like, hey dude, you've ever thought about doing this? And you're like, fuck, good idea.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like if you two sat in here and racked your brain all day to try to think about ways to grow your group or your team aspect or like to help them, it's really difficult to come up with something. But you guys have these conversations, and then you just got that little thing where like we could just share more content. Fuck, never would have thought of that. Yeah. And it's just like that's about like just trying to have a conversation with a group of people, with me, trying to have this group conversation, try to elevate each other's lives because that's your mentality, and you got a little nugget from it. Yeah. But if you sat there and stared at your computer all day trying to figure out how to do it, you don't come up with very much very quickly.
Yeah. True. And and I think people have a hard time, especially when you start the business and it's like your ideas, and then you want to keep going down your line of your ideas, but other people might have other ideas that might help out and elevate the business. It might be better. Yeah. A lot of people don't like to take that step back to be like, okay, this is my baby, right? But like there might be other ways of doing something that might elevate us.
Yeah, that was really hard for me. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, because I did everything. I did the photo shoots. I did the social media. Like I packed all the orders, like we all did it all at one point or another, but, and all that stuff was like self-taught on YouTube. Like I didn't know how to use a camera. Like the dude I bought it from told me how to turn it on. I was like, sick.
Yeah.
Going home to figure this one out real quick.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot of that is the trial and error of trying to figure out the best way around the whatever obstacle that comes up, I guess.
Yeah. And putting faith in your employees, right?
Yeah.
That's also hard to do. Like, I trust you that you're going to be able to do this in whatever aspect you're in.
I mean, I always felt that you never really get to learn much about people when you, like, if I just sit there and tell you everything to do and coach you through it all, like, are you doing much, or are you just a robot at that point, right? Like, if the better AI gets, I could just teach the AI how to do it and we'll be good. Mm-hmm. So it's about like you don't get much thought out of people or much progress out of people if you just tell them what to do the whole time. So I felt like letting go of those reins allowed people to be more brainstorming within their role, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you still come up with the designs?
That's a terrible word.
Do you still come up with the designs for Tattooed and Successful?
Yep.
So it's all on you, or do you have other people that like?
So I use different graphic design artists for like final assembly of the design, but I draw everything.
Okay. Yep. I didn't know if you had someone in there with you too.
No, we have graphic design. Well, Chandler, our photographer, does some graphic stuff, and then Avery, one of our models, she does some graphic stuff for us as well. But from a like actual logo design and everything like that, I draw them and then send them off to somebody to have them finally designed.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're all mine still.
Are you making any of your products in store, or are you having everything?
No. So we have a full-time production manager that's out of California, and he goes around to the different shops that we get stuff printed at and gets it all done down there.
And then it comes to you, and then you push it out, which is nice because there is a lot of people that are drop shipping.
Yeah, I never wanted to do the drop ship thing because of the quality control. Yeah, like it's just, and then like I watch some other friends do drop shipping, and it's like their item would continue to sell, but they had to change the garment that it was going on all the time because of stock issues and color issues and that stuff. And I was like, I don't really want to deal with that ever.
Yeah, you need to have total control over
and when it was
product.
Right? Exactly. That's the thing to me always is that we never have returns for quality. Ever. I just had as I say that, I remember that I just lost a chargeback thing this morning for a defective product thing, which was frustrating. We sell, I'm sure you get stuff that you don't, like even when it ships here and then the container's really dented, that's probably not one you guys send out, right? You keep that or use it as a sample or whatever. We have stuff like that. We call it B grade. It's a sneaker terminology, but I like it for us.
You sell it at like a discounted rate.
Yeah, right? So we sell it at 70% off at our warehouse sales. And it says final sale, B grade item is defective. Please check before purchase. When then they check out, they have to be briefed on this again. And then it's on their receipt. This person bought $300 worth of shit all from B grade and then disputed it and they won. So we now pay a $80 fine and the $300.
Yeah, chargebacks.
And I was just like,
I've only been hit with one chargeback.
Well, we're sending them a text message that my lawyer, because I don't have their name, but we have their phone number. So we're sending them a message from our lawyer. It's like, you're not allowed on premises anymore at an event. Like,
oh, they're here local.
Yeah. Well, they're a local number and they came to our event and it's like, you came to a charity event, bought stuff at 70% off that says defective and then went home and like you committed fraud. I didn't.
Yeah, that sucks.
And like we submitted the screenshots of like the signage on the rack saying like, this is B grade, like you were knowingly buying this, etc. Still lost it. And I was like, what the fuck?
So speaking of charity events too, that's the other thing I like is, and that's the other reason why I wanted to reach out to you, because I always see you guys doing these charity events. You do them, once a quarter?
Yep, that's the goal.
And they're huge. You guys put on these massive events, and I think they're fucking awesome. What's that about? Like
that? I mean, that kind of goes back to the point of the community, right? So that was the point of the brand, is to really create a community that people can identify with. And now that we have a destinational spot, with the gym next door, obviously draws a little bit more attention in addition to just us. But you've been by, we have a really cool facility that everybody that comes into it thinks it's awesome.
Yeah.
And we have this brand that everybody wants to be a part of. And we have this culture that people identify with. And we have these artists that are very talented and tattooed a lot of people around here. And so it just naturally kind of came about to host these events. At the original grand opening, we did flash art of our own logos and ended up doing like 50 of our logos on people at
cool.
At the first event.
Cool. Yeah, but now you have actual tattoo artists for these events.
Yeah.
They're doing it. They're donating their time.
Yeah.
Right? And
so
all the money is going to charity.
So this time we'll have 8 artists. We'll have 6 stations. We'll have 8 artists rotating their time so they can go enjoy the event to some extent.
Yeah.
And they all donate 100% of their time. They also all donate like half days with them that we auction off. So we'll auction off half-day appointments with all the artists too, and all that money goes as well.
Yeah, that's
we also had like 15 to 20 baskets donated to be auctioned off with just, spa things or branded merch from people or whatever it is. And then we had 6 food trucks. This next event, last time we had 11 vendors. This next one we already have over 25 booked now. When I talked to you last week, it was like 12 or 15.
Yeah.
So we're doubling every week. So we'll probably get up to 40 of that. I make each vendor pay a fee, and 100% of that goes to the charity. The first time we did it, we just had 1 charity. This time we got 4. So it's just, I think we have a really cool opportunity to be able to change the community around us, using tattoos as the main device, but using the community that we've created initially to really show people that lifestyle and that way of working with others.
Yeah. Yeah. And so for you guys that haven't been by the Tattooed and Successful location, I know you hear us talking about, they do tattoos at these events. Like he full on have a tattoo studio in the retail location. And it's badass. Like I didn't know that until I walked in, and the tattoo stations are set up. They're beautiful, beautiful warehouse that they're doing it out of. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like that's badass. Like you walk in because you have the Tattooed and Successful culture, apparel, and literally you can get tatted.
Yeah. It's cool. The best is to see, like, I think probably you forget where you came from sometimes when you come in here every day and go, God, I wish this was bigger, or wish I had this, or wish I had that. And like, I think you do that in life naturally, especially as people that are geared towards progress. Right. But sometimes even in that building, that's so cool. Like we just forget about it because we're in there every day, and I'll watch somebody come in for an appointment and they're just like
looking around like, damn.
Like, hey, your guys' floors are really cool. I'm like, oh yeah, they are really cool. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, check them out. Like they go to Matt back in the other room and walk around, have a look. So I think just that environment for those artists is really cool for them. Their clients come in, get to see a store that's geared specifically towards them. Yeah, and then go back in this studio and hang out. And sometimes, like I told you, we're shooting in there while they're getting tattooed, so they get to watch a brand. Part of the progress, behind the scenes. Yeah, and so like that's a pretty cool experience, like to go into for just a typical tattoo appointment. I mean, I think you guys have both been in probably some shops that you don't need to be in after you get done with your piece, right? Like you're like, and I'm out of here. Yeah. So we wanted to have something that was just different. Yeah.
So, who's back there? You still have Chandler shooting, or you Sigma Wolf?
Photography.
Devin?
Yeah, so we have Chandler shooting photography, and then Dev does some of our video. Chandler's done some of our video. Our social media girl does some of our video as well. Yeah,
shout out to Devin.
Yeah.
Dude's a nut job.
Yeah, he's a wild guy. He's an interesting character. I love him. One of my favorite things about Dev is he's always Dev.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude,
and I think that...
Because sometimes he posts some shit on social media, and I'm like, dude, let's bring it down.
But that's the part of like the reason, like I never have to guess with Dev.
Yeah.
I don't have to like guess what your opinion is on something. You will definitely tell me what it is. And there's a lot to be, I think, respected in that, because that's rare now.
Yeah.
Right. There's people a lot
of honest, not to be fake.
Yep. There's a lot of people just running around under this mask of good person and do good deeds and all this shit, and they're snaking their way through life. So I love that about Dev. He's a wild child, and I don't ever want him to change that way.
Wild child.
Yeah, the facade of social media, they portray them as one thing, and then you actually meet that person and you're like, dude, what the fuck?
But that's the other thing though about Dev is I think Dev does a bad I will say this, and I've told him this. He does a terrible job of portraying who he is as a person on social media. And that is how you are judged as a person, unfortunately.
He always comes, that's what I'm saying. I see some of his stories, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he comes off like an asshole.
Chauvinistic,
he's not. He's so nice.
He's a good dude.
He's super good dude, but he just portrays himself terribly in the instance that what he posts is usually like pretty testy, and he thinks that's funny.
Yeah.
And I get it because I know him, but if you didn't know him, I also get why you don't like him.
I think he's just trying to get a rise out of people.
Totally, he's trying to. Yeah. He'll say shit all the time in meetings, and I'll just keep talking because I'm like, all right, Dev, keep going. But he loves it. That's who he is. He's just that's his personality.
That's great.
I wouldn't change it. I love who he is. It's great.
Let's go back to the charity real quick. What's the date for the event? What is it?
July 29th.
What's it called?
It's called the Block Party.
The Block Party.
Yeah, this one we're calling the Block Party. Block Party 23. So it's gonna be free workouts at the gym all day. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a cars and coffee show in the morning. So we'll have a cars and coffee from 9 to 11. Tattoos will start at 11. I think we're going to change the price on them just to make it a little bit more market value for Flash Art. We were just looking at like the Friday the 13th places, how much they were charging. So it'll be between $50 and $100 depending on what you get. The more pieces you can get up to 3. If you get 3, I think we're going to make it like 125 or something like that instead of 150. But it's we'll have, like I said, 8 artists tattooing they're gonna tattoo for 12 hours.
Damn.
The warehouse sale we usually do from like 11 to 8 or 11 to 6, just depending on how busy it is. People trickle in on Saturdays after they get off work at 3 or 5. People that have to work the Saturday shift. And then we'll have 6 food trucks there. Last time we sold them out, so hopefully they have more food for this time. We'll have 2 DJs running. 40 vendors. The gym will be free workouts all day, so it'll be open. We'll have you guys there next to the gym. Yeah. We're going to do like push-up, pull-up contests and bench press contests and squat contests and all sorts of stuff like that at the event for prize giveaways and everything.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Give away like free month membership if you can do over like 50 pull-ups or some shit like that, or give you a year.
50 pull-ups nonstop?
No break. We can do a little break. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what the contest
is. All right, David Goggins.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do 5. Yeah. So. Or what would we do? 25 pull-ups unbroken?
Yeah, I think you do 20. That's
pretty solid.
Achievable, but you still got to be badass to hit 25.
So if we do 25 for a free month.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it cost anything to get in?
No, so it's going to be free all day. Yeah, we'll do it from open to close too, so 7 to 7.
Discounts on the apparel?
For TNS, yeah. So the warehouse sale has like 30 to 50% off everything. And then, like I said, about the B grade stuff. So we have stuff that's just under what we would accept to sell. And sometimes it's shit you can't find, but just like the girls that do the quality control, like if it's at all off, I have them pull it. So it could be something that it could be the tag inside is just crooked and we pull it. Yeah. And so you get stuff at 70% off. That's this. It's all the shit that's at Nike Outlet. Mm-hmm. That's what people don't understand about Nike Outlet.
Yeah.
Is Nike Outlet is B grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. A lot of people think it's like stuff that couldn't sell or just extra inventory. It's not.
Yeah.
It's returns from people online and then it's B grade or C grade.
Yeah.
I've had some shit come in there that is so off. We had a whole like 600 pairs of golf pants that came in once where one leg was shorter than the other.
Oh, fuck. That sucks.
And we were selling them only at like 30% off. It's like all these people are going to be so upset when they get like
it's like an inch shorter.
It was like half an inch, but it was still just
noticeable.
like with pants. Like,
yeah,
it's going to like you wear black pants with white. It's going to look real weird on the golf course.
Yeah.
One leg shorter the whole day.
What are the 4 charities that you're going to be giving the proceeds to?
Yeah, we got Veteran Entrepreneur Alliance. It's an organization to help with funding for entrepreneurs with their businesses. It helps organize activities. I think you met the owner of that, Isaac Belden. Yeah, so they do all sorts of different activities to help veterans with their entrepreneurial goals.
Yep.
Foster and Heart, which is a foster kids care community event type people. They do all sorts of different events to raise money. In addition, they have a large house that they help house family in. So I think their main goal is to really help not break up families in the adoption process or in the foster process. So help keep siblings together, or parents with siblings or whatever it may be. And then they just help overall with getting neglected kids like school supplies, clothes, places to stay, food, etc. Then we're doing the Idaho Food Bank. And then we're going to do Laurel's Legacy. And Laurel's Legacy is a kid I went to school, or guy I went to school with. His mother passed away in school from cancer, and so they help create funding for cancer families to help pay for bills or whatever they need the money for. So 4 charities that are mom and pop type charities, that instead of the big, I didn't want to do like the American Red Cross or any charities that are involved with
small local charities that can use the money.
Yeah, like the Idaho Food Bank is actually private. It's not a state thing, so I didn't want to have any stuff that ran through the state. Yeah, respectfully.
I was thinking about that because like we wanted to start doing some events. Like I told you, like we haven't done any in a long time. But have you ever gone in and donated time to the food bank, the Idaho Food Bank? Yep. And it's actually an amazing time.
Oh,
you know, you're sifting through the food and you're getting, and it's like, man, all of these packages are going to go to elderly families who just can't afford food. You know? And
it's a cool process.
For me, it was like, I went and did it for an hour, and I was like, that was a real humbling hour.
Yeah, and I really wanted to do it with, no offense to those people that go create a nonprofit and put their name on it and have the big auctions and balls and all that type of stuff. Yeah. I get it, and it's for a cause, but it's just very difficult for me for a bunch of people parading around in very elegant outfits that cost drastic amounts of money in the purpose of creating money for others. It's a little hard for me to justify.
Sounds almost
like
hypocritical.
Yeah. It's just hard for me to like watch it and be like, that's for that organization. That's really going to help. And it's like, did it help or did it help all you feel better?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I like what we're doing. We're using like a big fun event. We got 40 businesses that get to help promote themselves at it.
Yeah.
For a very affordable advertising cost. And then we got all the food trucks that basically get a food truck court for the weekend. That's great for all their small businesses. And then we have all the artists that are growing their portfolios by tattooing. So if you think about it, like most of these artists tattoo, one person a day, they're going to see 400 people that are customers for them. Right. And if they tattooed them or not, they saw them and that person saw them. And so they just basically went to a significantly bigger tattoo convention than anything we have here in Idaho.
Yeah. What about the DJs? They come in and with the time.
So I got one from Arizona that's a buddy of mine that he moved out there 2 different times now. But he's going to come DJ, and then Rashad is going to come DJ. Rashad DJs downtown at a bunch of different spots, the Mode, Space Arcade Bar, all different places down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, DJs at Tree Fort all the time.
There's going to be a blast. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited a lot. I think it's a really cool event. It's really cool to use, different industries to help create, like I said, a better community for all of us. And then use tattoos at like the main funding source to do so. It's kind of a different path than most charities organizations take. I think the golf tournament and the dinner auction or ball or whatever is kind of used up in terms of charities and stuff like that. So I wanted to do something different. Mm-hmm. And the cars and coffee in the morning is a cool way to start it off.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool idea.
Yeah, so we'll just have cars all the way around the building, and then we're going to get a big coffee truck there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, not to switch gears, but I'm interested in this conversation. So Tattooed and Successful opens up, and then you decide, I'm going to fucking build a gym.
Yeah. So the gym, like TNS was almost 2 years behind in terms of getting that building open. Mm-hmm. I would say like 18 months behind, but through that process of just getting started and going to the site every day, I saw that there was 2 units next door available. And after talking with a buddy of mine, I went to the developers and they said that they were available and that they could sign them over to us. And so started that right away with the design process on the gym. It really kind of bred from an idea of I had a business partner when I first started Empire Fitness, and him and I used to train together. And when we were working out one day together, not this is real hard to come up with on your own, but we hated Axiom. Yeah. And hated working out there because everything's fucking broken. They just don't take care of the place, to be honest. Like, they don't clean it. They don't care. They don't have a single employee there that really is vested or cares about the spot because they recycle them like crazy. They're not paid well. They're not compensated benefits of any sort. Mm-hmm. And so you end up with a product where people don't particularly care about it. And I think it shows in everything that they do there. So we wanted to create a gym that was different. And that's kind of where the idea was born. And we wanted to create a gym that was truly, again, off the same premise that TNS was for the community and to help people. So that's our slogan, is to find your why. That's why we spell Empire with a Y. And we just started on that path of building the gym. It opened actually before TNS did, oddly enough. So we opened that last fall. And then have done pretty well up to this point. And then just been me. Bought out my business partner 2 months ago. It's just been me for the last 2 months. So a little bit of a quick transition considering how quickly the gym started and then transitioned him out. And so it's just kind of been a little bit of a circus.
Yeah. And how has that process been? Because I know that there's a lot of people that want to open up a gym, and then you start opening up a gym, and then you start realizing when you have a gym, like, oh shit, there is a lot more to this than what I perceived it to be. Like, oh, a sign is like $12,000. That's fucking great. Oh, let me see the locks on the door. Oh, that's another fucking $6,000 for that. Like,
there's a lot of things I didn't particularly understand going, and I think that's business in general. It's just a giant learning process the whole time. Like, learn something new every day. Is kind of the goal. I think the biggest thing that I learned through the first part is that that culture is pretty much everything. We weren't establishing a culture that was empowering the employees. We weren't having a culture that was prefaced on communication and that openness with people and adhering to what people need within a gym to feel successful, to feel empowered, to feel like they can make their own business and make enough money to be financially secure. So we put that in our trainer handbook that we want financially free trainers, because the goal is when people are financially free, they're obviously a lot different person, right? Or financially empowered, I guess. But we wanted to make sure that they knew that and could achieve those things, and that there was markable measurables that they could look at any point to view that, and that open communication line with them on that premise was my main goal to get back established.
And it's all high quality shit in that gym. Like, it's all Rogue equipment.
Yeah, Rogue and Hammer Strength. We just swapped out another machine that was just not quite up to quality in terms of what I thought, and got a brand new Hammer Strength hack squat instead. So.
How big is the facility?
It's about 6,000 square feet.
Okay.
6,000 square feet. We got showers, locker rooms, infrared sauna, in-body, separate client consultation rooms, a rolling stretching area upstairs with hypervolt guns. We got curved treadmills, Pelotons, Jacob's ladder, Versa climber, incline treads. And then now we have, with the nice weather, we have the garage doors open and a whole workout
outside.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we got a double-sided squat rack outside.
You have to worry about that, like getting rained on, or is it like weatherproof?
It's getting rained on and it's rusting a little bit on the inside. And so my plan is this winter when we take it down, when it gets real nasty out. So
Clean
probably
it up and weatherproof it.
Yep. So I'll probably go get it. I'm probably going to sell that one and then buy a different Rogue one and have it go get it powder coated differently.
Yeah.
To help with rust.
So I thought that was cool. Yeah. When I swung through, they had the back doors open and equipment outside. You could go out there and do your squats. And it's like, that's fucking dope. I could be lifting and getting tan at the same time.
Yeah. It's nice too because that little alley is like a breezeway.
Yeah.
So even when it's hot out, for some reason, it's like a little tunnel.
Yeah. Because you got that hill right behind you. And
it just vacuums down air right through there. And so it's always like this nice little tunnel of air. It's nice. I love it. And we have like a 10 by 15 area of horse mats that we put together. So you can deadlift out there or do whatever else too. Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. Because Nick, they just opened they opened their gym in 30 days.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. Where's that at?
It's in Garden City, right by the Rev. It's called Iron Legacy Barbell.
Okay.
They're more of like a strength and
we're strongman, powerlifting.
Yeah.
We cater to everyone, obviously, but a lot of our clients are training for strongman comps. Or powerlifting comps.
It's not what we do, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
different,
completely different.
Yeah, we had a guy come to us recently. It was like, hey, you need to get like the I don't even know, kilo plates or whatever, and I was like, sorry, it's not like that's a different demographic. It's just not.
Yeah.
And I think there's
nothing
no reason
wrong with that. But
exactly.
It's who you have to go.
I think that the niche gyms are coming around versus just big box gyms where they want you to have everything. It's like I don't want to have everything. There's different walks of right. Yeah, you don't go to
agree with that.
You don't go to
I do too.
Foot surgeon for your back.
And it goes back to what we talked about originally, that there's room in this world for everybody, dude.
Totally.
And there's enough people for fucking everybody, dude. Yeah.
I'll get your gym info, and then if we have somebody that comes in that's looking for like that type of gym, we'll just send them your way.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think what we are, we describe ourselves as an elite upscale training gym. Mm-hmm. I think it's a good way. Like we have backlit LED selfie mirrors and stuff like that. It's like it's a little bougie and nice, and it's like, cool. But yeah, it's what people like. It's really clean. We clean like twice a day. Mm-hmm. Like it's just kind of off that premise. It's just a little bit different. That's how we wanted to do it, and so we have like high tech stuff there, nice TVs.
Because all there was here, like you said, there's Axiom. Now you have more options, but yeah, Axiom just they built the culture of douchiness too. So it's like
they allow such bad behavior.
Yes, and it's like I couldn't stand working out there when you have the douchiness going on, people not wiping down the equipment, the culture of the people that go there, where you physically watch people just walk away and leave their plates on the equipment and not wipe the sweat off. It's like, fuck that, And you got some dude sitting on teenager taking selfies of himself, fucking texting, not working out. Like in your gym, people aren't going to be texting. They're going to be fucking lifting. Yeah. And same thing in your gym, people are going there to get it done. Where people want to show up to be part of that. Like, this is my lifestyle. Let me show it off.
I went to the gym today.
But they don't really give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about that. Give a fuck about there's no community, right?
But it starts at the top. Like, they have no, and I don't mean to throw Axiom under the bus, but they're from the top of who is the very, very top of that company that runs that gym. There's no connection with them even to the fitness community. Like, they have no idea how to work out. Yeah. They're not in shape. They don't know what new equipment looks like. They haven't been to a fitness trade show. They haven't been to a supplement show. They couldn't name a brand that's from this city. They couldn't name maybe a supplement brand that they don't sell. Name one that you guys don't have in your store. Yeah. They probably can't. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so when it starts from there, from such a disconnect from even the core of what you guys are is the fitness industry, and then you go from like, how do you guys relate to people that are going to work in that? Like, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, it doesn't make sense. It's like your heart doctor being 400 pounds overweight. You'd be like, please shut up.
Yeah.
Please don't talk to me.
You don't see a lot of those members wearing proudly an Axiom shirt, being like, I go to this gym. And everyone's like, oh, fuck, you go to fucking Axiom, dude? Like, no, there's no one doing that. Yeah. But I've seen it with Empire, and I've seen it with Iron Legacy, that it's like, yo, I go to this fucking gym.
Yeah, this is,
like, people,
like, this is my community.
Exactly.
Right. But I think they lost that connect, and Crunch did too. There's no connection between what the company is and who the people are that actually work there.
Yeah.
And when you have that disconnect, then they don't care about work. and then they don't give a fuck about their job, and then your gym looks like shit, and then they let behavior go that shouldn't be tolerated, and they let cleanliness get away and get out of hand, and they let policies be instituted that are counterproductive and all sorts of stuff. My favorite one is the Axiom pushing and I've seen them kick people out for recording, and then they have all of their employees are allowed to do it though.
It's their employees, and it's also
any of their boys.
There you go. Like Gethin and dude, me and Gethin are cool. Friend, but they would allow him to go in and film.
But they don't let.
It's Chris Gethin.
Yeah.
Right? But I would go in there and we'd try and get some photos or something. And it's like a guy like, get the fuck out of here. You know?
Yeah. One time my girl was helping her mom, and they literally took them to the front desk and were going to throw them out for her training her.
No shit.
Yeah. And I was like, that's your mom. And I'm fine with this. If you have a client, if you're a trainer and you have a client that you're training and you want to come try out Empire, you can come there and try out Empire if you work out with them. And you both pay for a day pass and you both work out. That's fine. Yep. I'm not going to kick you out for doing that.
Yeah.
Because you're working out with them. Like I'm not going to kill two people for enjoying the gym that we created for the right reasons.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're just going to kick out two women just because they're helping each other. Like, do you understand the message you're sending?
Yeah.
Please don't help anybody around you. It's like just to think of like, hey, if somebody was squatting and like I helped them with their form or something, I could have gotten thrown out.
Dude,
like
you're gonna injure yourself. Like, hey, let me help you.
Yeah, let me help you. Get that bar off your neck. Like scoot it down, widen your hands a little bit. Your shoulder mobility is fucked up. Like keep your head up. They'd walk over and be like, hey.
He needs to pay for our personal training service.
Yeah, that you don't pay your trainers any part of. Like yeah. So that was the big thing is I wanted to create a gym where like it was just different. So you'll see a trainer training somebody and run across the gym to help another member with something. You'll see a member helping a member with something. You'll see it. Two of our trainers were out back with a golf club the other day working on golf swings and shit. And I was just like, I love it. This is a place that we've got like, one of them likes to golf. One of them wants to learn. So they're just practicing real quick in between clients. And I was like, great. I love this. I love this, guys.
Is that, oh man, what's his name?
Kyle and Chris were doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Okay. What's the other guy's name? He does the podcast.
Matt
Campbell.
Yeah, Matt Campbell. I don't know if Matt golfs.
I thought he's a big time golfer. Maybe I'm wrong.
I haven't seen him talk much. He didn't talk to me much about golf ever, but I don't know. I know he's busy as shit, so I know he's out golfing right now.
Yeah. So thinking about it, you got Tattooed and Successful. You got Empire Fitness. And then right next door, isn't there another company?
Gritton and Associates.
What are they?
Plumbing.
Plumbing.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, they're gonna fucking block party day.
They hate us.
I was gonna say
they already hate us.
I would hate you.
Yeah. They already hate
plumbing
us.
Company, like,
we're the loud, tattooed, slamming weights group. Yeah. I did soundproof the shit out of the wall that they share with us.
Yeah, because you got music going in the gym.
Yeah, so
I'm sure they probably still hear it through it. Right?
I don't think they can. We did a bunch of sound tests, and you can't hear shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we double studded it. Like stagger studded it.
Yeah.
Instead of like the standard spacing, double it up. Then we double stuffed it with insulation. Then we double dry like 2 stacks of drywall. Then framed it again.
Oh, really?
Did the same process. So the wall's like that wide.
Oh.
So like quite literally no sound can get through there. There's no channel.
I'll tell you what, like we hear them all the fucking time. I hear them. I feel bad because over here we got the bathroom, and on the other side of our bathroom is someone's office. So like I'll be in there handling business, and I hear them like on sales calls and stuff.
So I had that at the last office. We had like I could hear everything in the bathroom next to me the whole day, except that bathroom was shared by the entire office.
Yeah,
like all the suites in there. So it's just like,
Jim had Taco Bell again last night.
Yeah. So I just I had 2 speakers on that wall that I would just play towards me, and so I could never hear anything.
Yeah.
But you could hear my music in the bathroom.
Yeah. Hey, it was probably enjoyable.
Yeah.
So what's the next steps for Tattooed and Successful and Empire? What are your visions for both of them?
Yeah. So the collaboration between the two on these charity events is really the main goal over the rest of this year. Mm-hmm. For TNS also, it's just about us getting to events and getting out in front of the public a little bit more. Because we do have such a destination spot to get people to for our events. So it's our due diligence to go to other events to continue to help rise that water. So July 1st and 2nd, we'll be out at Track Shark in Emmett. There's a big car show, drifting, burnouts, and concert every night out there at the new speedway they built. Mm-hmm. So I'm stoked to go to that because it feels like I'm a Fast and Furious nerd. So it feels like, you know, the one, like the big event they go to, Race Wars.
Yeah.
That they do out in the desert. It's going to feel like that, I feel like. So they're going to have drifting, burnouts. They got everything all day. So we have that the 1st and 2nd. Then the 29th, we have our event at the warehouse. And then August, I think it's 15th through 18th or 18th through 20th or something. There's the tattoo convention downtown.
Oh, okay.
It's coming back to CenturyLink.
Local events. Are you going to like do any of the big expos or anything like that?
Probably not for a little bit. Just because of and you probably understand this from a traveling standpoint,
100%.
It's so hard to get it's not just hard to get there.
It's the logistics.
It's to get all your stuff there. And then where do you put it when you're there? And then how do you get it in and out? And just, honestly, I don't know that we're at the space to be doing them yet. I know there's a convention in Salt Lake that we'd like to do next year.
FitCon?
No, a tattoo convention. A big tattoo convention.
Yeah, cool. That'd be good.
But we would I'm trying to talk to them already now about it. It was just like a month ago.
Yeah.
So they don't want to talk about next year yet, but I want to start talking to them because I want like a 30 by 30 and we're going to bring like 3 big artists and our whole kind of setup and probably the R8.
DJ.
Yeah. We're gonna DJ. Yeah, I don't know, but we're going to bring Steve and then a couple of Steve's buddies, Steve Butcher. Yeah, big time tattoo artists.
That would draw people to your booth for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then bring Jeremy, our big tattoo artist, out of our own studio, our whole team, bring the R8.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, it'd be cool to try to do that. So we'd like to get to more out of state, but just for now we have in-state. So we have that one. And then we're ending August with the air show, Gowan Thunder at the Boise Airport. So that's the August 25th, 6th, 7th, I believe. Mm-hmm. And that's that. We have a 30 by 30 at that as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The air, it's just the air show?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was coming. When is that?
End of August. They're barely starting to advertise it yet. I think they're waiting until after the 4th so they don't pay like 4th of July promo rates with radio stations and print ad and all that type of stuff. But I think after the 4th, you'll see it probably everywhere.
Okay.
Because you usually want to wait till like 30 to 45 days outside of your event.
Yeah.
Advertise too early, everybody forgets.
Yeah.
Advertise too late, nobody goes. But I think there's a happy medium.
Yeah.
4 to 6 weeks is enough for people to change their plans. If they're leaving, then you weren't going to get them in the first place. So
yeah. So we talk a lot on this show about mental health, and there's a lot of people, we've had a lot of veterans on, or we have a lot of business owners on, and a lot of those people have the same mindset of like, they're hard charging. It's never enough. Like, we need to keep a fucking pedal to the metal, dude.
Yeah.
What do you do? Because it sounds sexy and awesome to fucking own Tattooed and Successful and to own Empire Fitness.
Yeah.
But there's probably times where you're like, fuck, dude, am I doing enough?
That's
like,
today. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes shit just overflows, dude.
Yeah.
What do you do to keep your mental health good?
So I go to counseling once a week.
Okay.
Yeah. For starters, I go to counseling once a week. Went this morning. And that's why, like I told you a little bit before we started, this week hasn't been great. We got our ad account hacked and 30K of charges ran up and just not fun from a business standpoint. I'm sure you check your bank account daily. Like, it's an anxiety filled thing when there's 30K missing when we're a small ass business. Like, that's a lot of money for us. So yeah, I go to counseling once a week. I really, really, really try to never miss those. In addition to that, I try to podcast a lot. I think that
it's kind of therapy, huh?
Yeah, it is therapeutic in a way. And to be honest, I used to think that it mattered what I listened to. It doesn't. Not to say that I won't listen to your guys' podcast and listen and stuff like that, but I don't think it really matters what podcast you listen to. Truthfully.
Like, how so?
In terms of what industry you're listening to, or whether it's like specific to what you're trying to get better at.
Yeah, no.
It's simply the act of like shutting off your conscious and letting it learn.
Yeah.
So I think it's allowing your brain to transition from a work standpoint to an absorption standpoint. Right. So when we have these conversations right now, like, my brain's done it a couple times since I sat down and we started recording, where I like think about something with work, but for the most part, like, I'm trying to have this conversation with you guys, being present, being active in that. It's very difficult for entrepreneurs to shut that off. But in order to listen to a podcast, you almost have to.
Yeah.
To get anything out of it, to be honest with yourself, where you're actually fucking listening, not just I had it on, because those are two different things.
Yeah.
So I think that's very therapeutic for me. I also like to do difficult things, so sauna or ice bath or
Back to back. Yeah.
some shitty cardio thing to just make you super uncomfortable. Those types of things I think are very important. Doing difficult tasks like that. Whatever it is, it could be just, static hold of something that sucks for once a day or anything like that just challenges you enough to be like, I don't want to do this and I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. Those little like on-off things for your central nervous system, I think are invaluable.
This is going to sound weird, but maybe try this sometime too. One time I went to the gym, and it sucks because normally I go to the Mecca. It's been my home gym forever. I'm going to start transitioning and going to his. But the Mecca has just been close, but they sell our product there. And I always have people come up to me like, oh, you own Your Look So supplements. And they want to ask me questions or how do I get sponsored?
Yeah. God damn it.
So anyways.
Another rabbit hole we can go down.
So I pulled out my earbuds, and they were dead. I was like, fuck. But I didn't want to be bugged by people, so I put them in my ears.
Yeah.
So people would be like, oh, fuck, he's, I'm gonna go bug him. So I did a whole workout listening to absolutely nothing, just in silence. And it's dead silence because you can't hear anybody.
Yeah.
And
the noise canceling on still?
Dude, it was amazing. I had some of my best, and so now I do it like at least once a month. I'll be like, you know what? I'm just going to put earbuds in and just silent workout. And like I've had some of the greatest ideas pop in my head while I'm just there in dead silence, just pushing through your workout and stuff.
One time you should come
to
Empire when you have like a easy day you could do outside and do an outside workout with silence.
Yeah. Good.
It's just something different. I think we all can attest to like when you go outside or go up to the mountains or something like that.
Vitamin D.
Yeah, that just in different air. There's different air in the sunlight and something like that. So come try that one time, both of you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Come do a deadlift session just outside. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I bet. I fucking bet.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up counseling because I think a lot of people, just like with the tattooed and successful, the stigma that there was or still is a stigma on tattoos and being successful. There's still a stigma on going to counseling. I know we talk about it a lot with military. It's like people don't want to go to counseling because they're like,
I think I've gotten to the point where I don't have any problem telling people. Yeah, just because I'm like, I couldn't tell you how much I need that. So it's like I couldn't possibly rack the demons going on in my brain by myself. And I know that now. Like I have no problem. I've switched counselors. The hardest part for me is allowing myself to go because I feel like I'm letting down like coworkers when I'm not working all the time.
Yeah.
So I have a very guilty conscience of leaving work to do it. But I now have my schedule very nice where I have all appointments that have anything to do with me all Thursday morning. Yeah. So Thursday morning I come in at like 6, leave at like 7:30 a.m., 8 a.m. depending on what time my appointments start, and then I come back by noon.
Yeah.
So I get like my back worked on, counseling done, any car stuff or anything I need to do all done in that little morning. So I'm just gone for 3-4 hours one day a week versus like constantly having little things.
Yeah. Oh shit, I got that.
Yeah, but then for my mental health, I think it makes me feel a lot better that I'm not in and out all day.
Yeah. Well, and if you didn't go to counseling, you might not be present for the people that need you, right? Like you're not ready to deal with their issues because you're not dealing with your own issues.
And counseling, sometimes I think people so often have, and I think obviously a lot is portrayed what we see on TV and social media and all that type of stuff. So we've all seen the counseling where it's like you lay on the couch and they ask what your feelings are, and like that's not how it is. Yeah. No. And there's days where it's they make you do a lot of work and it sucks, and it's also different for each counselor. I think a lot of times one of the biggest issues that I found with getting people to go to counseling that I care about or whatever is they went to someone and they didn't like it, and they think that's counseling, like or therapy or whatever you want to call it. In a whole, it's just like, well, I didn't like that person. It's like, well, there's like 1,400 other providers in your general region. Like, why don't you try another one?
Yeah.
So it's just like if you didn't like a personal trainer, there's a lot of other personal trainers. Or if you didn't like a restaurant, there's a lot of other food you can eat, right? So I think getting that stigma broken is almost the bigger one than just going. Because almost everybody at some point in their life has gone once. There was a school counselor or whatever it was, and they're like, yeah, they just kept fucking asking me these questions. It just drove me nuts. I'm like, well, just go to someone different.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just good to hear your own voice because you can work it out yourself by just talking it out.
Right.
And hearing yourself.
So that was today. So like what we've been working on a lot is kind of trying to find little events throughout my life that have caused different brain pathways for me to make like repetitive actions that may have not been like for the best benefit of myself. Right. Today I just word vomited for like an hour. Yeah. And she was like, well, I don't feel like it did anything, but like we went over everything. Like, is there anything else? I was like, no, I was kind of it. Like, thanks for helping me work through about like 19 issues in an hour, but thank you.
Yeah.
So like I left very like reflected and felt like a lot better. Like, ooh, that was nice to get off my chest. But we didn't really work anything for like progress of mental health, but like sometimes just a vent is nice. And I don't think a lot of us as guys have friends that we can go to and do that from a secure standpoint. And like you can have bro talk, but like there's a difference between having bro talk and then having like emotional bro talk.
Yeah.
I'm like, I full on the last session, I had cried for like 40 minutes. Yeah. And I was like, well, this is awesome.
I think that's the thing is like, with your bros, your homies, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that men aren't, we don't have that emotional intelligence like females have, right?
No.
So when you do have someone coming to you and having that serious talk, sometimes it kind of goes over our heads, and our natural reactions give them shit like, quit being a pussy. You know? So it's hard to have those emotional talks with your bros because...
Yeah, and then sometimes they have a dog in the fight, and then they just want to regurgitate what's happening to them, so they just bring up whatever the fuck they're doing, and it doesn't really help the situation.
Like, and I got nowhere.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's the point being,
And then I think it's helped me just as much as it's helped me personally. It's helped me with my relationship as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you learned a lot about yourself that you didn't even realize that.
And learned a lot about like how you want to communicate with your significant other and how you want, like what your needs are and wants are, and even just learning how to express those things and what you want to do with your life and what you want to, where you want to go experience things with your partner. Like learning how to have those conversations is a lot of mental health too, because those are the conversations as men that we just sit there and have with ourselves and then sit into a rabbit hole of shit.
Yeah, just go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and then you're like, and I'm nowhere and super depressed now, so this is good.
And and maybe nothing even happened. You're just so anxious that something might happen.
Yeah, and so you like have that conversation with your therapist, and they're like, well, if you do this, and then right before you walk into these events, you think of like the questions you need to ask them, and there are these, and these, and you're like, oh, that doesn't seem so bad. I don't know why I thought of this in my head.
No, you sometimes you build something up so much, and then
that's what I was telling you before. Like, I don't need to get racked up and excited for like a sporting event or anything. Like, there's plenty going up in my brain. Like, I need to calm the fuck down. Yeah. So counseling's helped a lot with just calming me down in situations that I used to just lose my shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think there still is a stigma between with tattoos? Like you say, tattooed and successful, but I'm sure but you talked just with about the beginning
with the withholding within industries and
like
that type of thing.
Industries of the
yeah. So I think for us, a lot of us in Idaho don't particularly see it, especially with us all being in gen pop type of industries, right? Like supplements is used by everybody, but if you get into some of that tech and legal and upper bureaucracy and medical and stuff like that, it's massive still. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's still massive. There's like most restaurants still require you to have them covered unless they're like an like hippity hop type restaurant, like Koa doesn't, those types of places don't, but like Chandler's, they have to be covered. And a lot of those restaurants, they have to be covered. Even simple ones like, like Olive Garden, they have to have them all covered. And like certain little bars that you wouldn't think about, like you'll go in and somebody have a polo on and then like a sleeve. Mm-hmm. You're like, well, I know what that is.
Yeah.
And so it still exists to some extent everywhere, I think. And we still want to stand for that and help those people have an identifiable brand that supports that. But even more powerfully so, like I said, it's about creating the community that then shows the people that are still sticking with that kind of belief system that, no, there's a big group that doesn't feel that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's kind of a two-pronged thing.
Yeah, break the mold.
Yeah. Yeah, that was our original kind of saying, and that it branched off into something that at one point I thought could be its own brand, but just didn't have the time to do so. But yeah, we even we just signed a deal with a neon icon place that makes like those neon signs to make a break the mold LED sign.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so that'll be cool.
Yeah.
So we'll start selling those on our site soon.
Ooh, badass.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. John, any last words, my friend?
No, man. I think deep discussion. I love it. Dude, I love it. I love before meeting you and knowing who you were, it was kind of like, okay, who's this dude? I got to go check him out. But the more I've talked to you and gotten to know you, it's like, dude, you're down to earth, dude. And
thank you.
Very intelligent. 5 questions for you, real or fake, all right?
5 questions, real or
Yep, real or fake.
New game show.
Yeah, new game show. This one's sponsored by Iron Barbell Legacy.
Thanks.
For sponsorship.
Right? Kim Kardashian. Real or
fake.
fake? Oh, okay. Loch Ness Monster.
Fake.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah.
Nessie, fake.
Yeah,
Out of here.
Nessie. Goddamn. Moon landing.
Good one. Good one.
Real.
Real?
Ooh.
All right. Aliens.
Real.
Yes, let's fucking go.
There we go.
1,000%.
Go.
1,000%.
Flat Earth.
No.
Fake. Fake news.
My dad's a pilot.
Fake.
Yeah. Yeah. Pops is a pilot.
Yeah, I've seen your videos of him flying his private jet, right? Doing
Yeah.
his tricks and stuff. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, so he's an air show performer. So he'll be at the Gowan Thunder performing.
Oh, sick.
Yep. So he performs a P-51 Mustang, actually.
Oh, sweet.
World War II aircraft.
Well, yeah, tell people on the podcast, where do they find you online?
Yeah, so IG's the easiest way. It's just Zach J. Pete. But Tattoo and Successful is at Tattoo and Successful Co. And then Empire Fitness is at Empire Fitness, spelled with a Y.
Hell
Those
yeah.
are 3 easiest spots.
The what's your why?
What's
Yep.
your why?
Yep.
Find your why.
Yep.
Find your why.
Hell
Love it.
yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah,
This is good,
thank
man.
you guys.
Really
I
good,
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. People, if you like the podcast, please like, subscribe, follow, share. That's all we ask for. We don't look for payments. We don't look for sponsorships.
Yeah, and you can comment if you want.
Yeah.
Comment. Yeah, let's find out. What are your thoughts on the flat Earth?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Fake news.
All right.
All right. See
Thank you guys.